human beings to be tamed. Teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Saviour having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality. To the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15. The Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagawan was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no eye element, and so on, up to and including no mind element. and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment, in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Page 25. Usashi purki jukshen metol jamri rabling shin yidegen padi sange shing du mite yolwa Namdak Shing La Cho Pa Sho Jetsun La Ma Dam Pa Ke Nam Ki Cho Ku Kala Gen Se Chin Jigne Jita Sampe Dulce Zinema La Sagye Chuki Chapa Bhatu So Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. Page 27. Chodan sogi chonam la jang chuba
dani jazam che dagi chujin jibe sona tola venche sanje dovara sho sanje chodan sogi janjo bada dani jazam che dagi chujin jibe sonam je tola venche sanje dovara Sanje Chodan Soji Chanama Janjo Bada Dani Jasam Dagi Chujin Jive Sonam Ji Dola Penje Sanje Langa de Venye Zove Dawa Je Bama Yi Dabi Shine Denzebe Kodam Dela Chadel Dunye Nye Jesun De Jobe Ma Chi Jesu De Kanche Dende Jene Kama Denze Jalo La Sowa De Soji De Lundoshu Chancho Jore Moji Majeva Naji Jewa Nyamba Maya Kone Kone Pepura Sho Oida Kulong Kum Chija Tanima Tirini di Langbe Tirik Lobjon Cheje Samba Sambo Nima Tirine Samba Sambo Sim Saro Chituaji Mi Sambo Chituachi Samchi Kulong Kum Des Jashosra.
So we'll start with the motivation meditation. So you should be thinking along the lines of today, very fortunate to be able to receive these Buddhist science teachings. But in order to listening to these, in order to develop a good heart, to be a positive human being, to be of benefit to others. So thinking along those lines.
다 가고 건다 드린 배 그거 야고 인 삼스든데 럽정치 이중한데 이거 상위 되라.
So now rejoice. Feel very fortunate to have this wonderful opportunity to listen to these teachings.
다 드린 대직 대직잖아. 그 생각도 뭐고 도전해야다. 직당 다대스로. 다 오직당 오 다대스. 대직 대 다대스. and they means the order resta.
So today we'll be looking at the same substances and different substances. So this is under the it'll be on page 168 of the book. It's under the one and many topic. So we've covered off the beginning of that, and we've covered off one nature, or one essence, I think. He translates it as here. So we've covered that. Now we're going to be looking at one substance and different substance.
단단 낭배 중에 아니 제직슬라면디 뭐불라고 뭐보든들다 뭐보든들라 제스요 딱발라 제요 말했다 다데 근데 단다갑디든데 샤자 뭐보 간실란 제 뭐보들라 제 요나 제스 요나 야면은 제직 용으로 야면은 제 타데 용으로 해서 어디 쉬고다
So when we talk about this substance, so he translates it as entity, so one entity or different entities. So when we talk about substance, it's only functional things or impermanent things that have this substance. Permanent phenomena don't have what we call substance. And if it does have substance, it either be the same substance or different substance. There's no other option.
메도 제직디 투년베 제지 메도 미다고이나 메도 체와인고 메도 체와이나 메도 미다고인고라 니 파지 투년 제직해서
So there's either, when we say there's the same substance, you can either have mutually the same, or you can have it's like going up, but like a subset, the same substance as the superset. So it goes multi-directional or single-directional, you could say. So when we say this mutual or multi-directional, that would be the impermanence of a flower and the product nature of a flower. So those are mutually the same. If it's the impermanent nature of the flower, it must be the product nature of the flower. Those are mutually the same substance.
다 갑중시하는 배나 디샤는디그래 메도다 미다고로 메도다 미다고디 제지로.
Right. So then you can have a larger set, a subset of a larger set that has the same substance. So an example of this would be impermanence and flower. So flower is the same substance as impermanence, but not the other way around.
다디나시 마다 다 중고보 가리는데 다 메도 마보다 메도 제지다 메도 마보다 메도 제지 다 치다차라 메도 마보다 치다라 메도다 메도 마보니 제지 차고 왔다.
So if this is anything that's a particular of a universal, as his translation, or it's a subset of a larger set. So for example, a red flower is a subset of flower or a particular of flower, and the red flower has the same substance as flower.
어디지? 어디 제직세야디 뭐보 간실라 다니치 당 웃음 들어 배나 메도 마보 통배 미시딜라 메도 마보레 록스 메도 통야요 말이와 다른 웃음 지라 낭주 수서 요 말이야 메도 마보 통배 미시죠라 그 미시디 메도 마보 통고다 근데 메도 마보 통배 미시딜라 딜렐 하고 메도 마보 통을 하고 메도 통야요 말고라 다른에 오직세야 다른 제직세.
Okay. So if we take the example of a eye conscious perceiving a red flower, other than the red flower, there's no other flower that it perceives. So if it's perceiving the red flower, there's no there's no other flower. Metok lakpa yumarano. Yeah, so there's no other flower or different flower that it's perceiving.
디직션에 워르는 디션 디마신의 워드는 기점은 다 메도 먼저 메도한테 미시에들라 먼저 메도 통이데 메도 닝지고 통도 아니 메도 그 미다과 메도기 제바 아니 메도 깨와 메도 뒤제 메도 따도도 망보 통구요다 메도당 튜념도 두대에 최 가리나 메다워리 세 가리나 먼저 미시디 난게요래로 이나 먼저 또 두고요 말다 이신고다
So one thing we need to clarify before going forward, because it will be important for what's coming later, is that when an eye consciousness perceives a flower, apprehends a flower, then all the impermanent aspects of that flower appear. So if you see a beautiful flower, you see the impermanence of that flower appears. The composition of that, the fact that it's compositional appears. The fact that it's a product appears. All of this appears to the eye consciousness perceiving the flower. However, it doesn't apprehend it. So the appearance is there without the apprehension.
당저 메도 미다고 삼담에 이나로 남사 미기 동구미다 남사 줌진 삼당도 메도 미다고레스 네고 다 메도바 메도 다 미다고데라 라고단 참무니체로 되나 라고디나 저 메도 미다고 라고디나 저 무슨 통고레 메도 매우스시로 파 도지게 매우스시 메다 잡시로 메다 단샤나 메도도 매우 차서디 라고에 미다고 딩아 저 무슨 통고도
Right. So when we have the impermanence of the flower, the subtle impermanence can only come across for an ordinary being by reasoning. It can't be perceived directly. However, we have the gross and subtle impermanence. The gross impermanence of a flower can be perceived directly, like if you break the flower, if you break it up, you can see that, and you can see that the flower's no longer there, existing as a flower. However, the subtle impermanence is different.
그래서 당연히 칼라나라디다 메도 사도 사스나 메도 어디 미다 무슨 뜻도고요.
Right. So when you have your lunch and you have your salad, you can see as it goes in your stomach, then the flower's no longer there, right? So when you eat lunch, you can meditate on impermanence.
그래서 미다워라고 무슨 신고라.
Yeah, that's a pretty gross level of impermanence, and we can all see that. We can all know that.
나데 뒤중에서 도난치게 말하다 도난치나 아니 다디 요도고도 하고 매우 차도고도. 디삼당베이나 다디 거라서 펜도 쉬어져라 간도 가서나. 상상랑 저 수수 잘라자 전부인데 따고 잡는 잘라디 라바 잘라디 매버차 잘라디 차나 심라 콘도서거도 미다고이나 미다고래 코 매버차 그래 개야면서나 심라 삼바 동에다 콘도 중도도 펜도 전부여 돼.
So this level of impermanence is very good to think about that, to contemplate it, right? Because if we have this understanding, then when we relate to our possessions, our stuff, we know them that they're not going to last, right? Everything's going to disintegrate, it'll be gone. And when we really have this understanding, when something doesn't, like we lose something or we don't, it's not bad. We get less angry, we get less attachment, all of these things if we can understand this impermanence.
어디지? 다디네 미다고 참모디로 미다고 참모디 원실라 나오면시지기 또 두고요 말이다. 디싱오다.
However, when we look at the subtle impermanence of the flower, that appears to the eye consciousness or to the direct consciousness, but it doesn't apprehend it.
근데 어디 삼단하고 다 미다고 참모딜 무엇을 통하여 말해. 안 줌진 삼단하고다. 줌진 삼단도 셈나마 똑바로 샤용도. 다 미다고래. 아메도 게지 주어두고요래 디자 포메도 미다고래 삼당연디네 다줌제 셈나라샤 다디 당부미도 고다로 똑베도고다 무슨 요 말이지.
So with the subtle impermanence, it does appear to the direct conscious, connect with it, realize it. The only way we can understand subtle impermanence is through thinking, through reasoning. So it's a conceptual understanding. We can conceptually understand, okay, things are changing moment by moment. So it only appears to us, or it appears to the eye consciousness, but it's only apprehended through reasoning.
Oh, that dia woji shena dangende nema zejiglemenda shedamenda shiroshitwa de magic shero.
So then when we talk about substance, so this is on the second paragraph of 168. So there's 4 divisions of the substance. Right. Same substance.
That jir zejig larwa zejig che. Yang dubdi zejig che. Ani dubdi yemeg zejig che. Ani dubdi chik te tuzula da chaba yoresrwa.
So we have same substance, same coexisting substance, and the same coexisting entities. So hopefully I'll get all of these right, but it's very similar, and I'm going to do my best to. Okay, so we've explained same substance. We've just gone over that.
Kariti musum jigla na ka medo mawu na de medo nang gidwa jida medo mawu da medo ni zejik chaswa medo mawu na be musum de la medo mawu na wale loksu thong wale loksu medo thongji loksu me yinza medo mawu da medo ni da zejik cha restri.
Okay, so this is what we just explained is like the same. So the things that all appear simultaneously, they are all of the same substance. So that's a good example. So we say like so medog tong medog
mawu the medoni.
Okay, so there's like flour and red flour. You know, they appear when the red flour appears, the flour appears. When you no longer apprehend the red flour, you no longer apprehend the flour, and so forth. So they appear. You know, that's the same substance. So the flour is red flour is the same substance as flour. So that's the first one.
That in a dubdi zejik said it tunda kare la windu la do dubdi zejik turn said zejik yimba khanshik la ani zejik ba yimba khanshik la ro ani kyawa da gagwa newa kinga nesum tujik jadi yimba pena ta kawa dan kawe chokba na yu juzeje la do ngazo pena kawa la du da juzeje la du sa chu me long sukti ro rek jadi ye la juzeje ro o tige dan kawa ya zejik res tige dan kawa zejik ro da tige zejik ro ina di never tunyam jigba tunyam kyawa tunyam re ro o di dubdi zejik kyawa res.
So the same coexisting substance as it says in the book is so like a pillar and the 8 basic particles comprising the pillar. I use this vase here, but the same idea. So we have the 8, the earth, fire, wind, water, taste, touch, smell, and
tactile.
Tactile, yeah. It's not everything but sight. So these are the 8 substances. So these are the same substance and they arise at the same time. So the pillar's 8 particles are same substance as the pillar, and they arise, abide, and cease at the same time.
That kawadum, that patient that is shine on the Medosha ni regret that paging on the pizza shine. Pizza that pizza so one I did need to do this, do it in your never.
So you could, like, you've got the example of a pillar and so forth, but you could also use the example of pizza, right? Like pizza and all the toppings of that pizza's toppings, they all arise together. They're of the same substance and they abide, arise, and cease together. Yeah. So they're produced, abide, and disintegrate at the same time. Is that clear? Now, not like it's the specific toppings, that pizza's toppings, right? Not general mushrooms everywhere, right? Like, no.
That in Dilabda. That Zejigina, and it do the Zejig in Umaresta.
So if it's one substance, it doesn't have to be the same coexisting substance.
Pena Tiringi Pumba than Pumanire. Tiringi Medo than Medoni.
Okay, so like today's vase or today's flower and that flower in general.
그니 제직로. 제직인데 드링게 분바다 메다와디 지라로 그니 지라로 제직자 드링게 분바다 메미실라 콜 분바 드링 분바 통화를 넣어서 분바 통지 신다요 말이가 제직 차래. 다 드링 분바다 분바니데 두데 제직 많이 베긴다네. 드링 분바 좀나 분바 두베 차래. 이나 분바 좀나 드링 분바 두고 말아가 어디 타고 말아다.
Alright. So today's vase is the same substance as the vase itself, right? However, it's not the same coexisting substance, because if you have today's vase, you have to have the vase, right? You have to have vase. But they don't arise, abide, and cease at the same time necessarily, right? Like, so if you have the vase in general, doesn't have to be arise as today's vase. It could have been yesterday, like it could have been there since yesterday. So it's not the same coexisting substance. Of course, if you have today's vase, you have to have established vase, but not the other way around. Does it make sense? Are you clear?
이제 나 시가고 되냐 말해. 드링 분바 매는 분바 매고 말아. 드링 분바 가나 분바 가고 말아.
드링 분바 가나 분바 가기
말해 산유 분바야라.
Oh, okay. right. However, also when they don't necessarily cease at the same time. So today's vase can cease, but that doesn't mean the vase ceases, right? Like at midnight, today's vase will cease, but the vase can continue to go on.
어디는 시다. 다들 오브 상마 도다는데 여러 그러네. 다 가나도 밀레잖아 다나래.
Okay.
가나도 스스로 주의자.
So it's the same with all things, all impermanent phenomena. Like a person's the same, you can think about it in the same way.
다 되네. 다 숨바들에 두대 예매기 제직 세야들어. 다 디디스 두대 제직 다 신송아. 제직을 간시 두어드냐 내어드냐 주버 니바들라 제주 숨상고도 당보디 무슨라 난주있던 거 타되면 니바들라 제직 임바 간시라 아니 제주 숨 두어드냐 내어드냐 주버드냐잖아. 두대 제직 차래. 디세부샤송아.
So then the third one, the same indifferentiable coexisting substance, is the same substance that is established, arises, and ceases at the same time, and they appear to the perceptions together. Right? If one appears, the other must appear. So that's the third type there. Same indifferential coexisting substance.
어디 다디네 두디 예매기 제직 세대 다디 두디 예매기 제직 세대 다디라고 요래. 유투 내가 란신 데라드네 제직과 유투 내가 란신 가나데 유투 내가 간대지 아니 란신 호랑 란신
relative
란신
nature. Object, the same time, the same aspect, and the same nature, or the same dunam. So it's simultaneous. Sorry, the third one's simultaneous.
근데 남대나나 딜라도 두디예메 제직 되니 참 남대래 디징오 통 유네 통제 통이데 유 개와드 셔요. 빼나 단다 유 개와라데 빼나 까와당 베나는데 까와샤도 까와당 까와 미다고 샤도.
Right.
까와 미다고당 까와 니데 유라드네 제직이 김제 가서나 까와 통베 미시들라 까와 미다고 통거래. 까와 미다고 통나 까와 통고 여러 가지
So it'll become clear with this illustration. So first of all, it goes in this exposition of valid cognition, Simanandral. Because of that, by seeing things, one sees all the qualities. So what this means is that it has the three characteristics: arising, ceasing, and enduring. And if one appears to a perception, the other must appear. So we'll use the example here of pillar and the impermanence of the pillar. So if pillar appears, the impermanence of pillar must appear. right? And if impermanence of pillar appears, pillar must appear. So these objects both appear simultaneously.
다 되나시 베나 유치 다 투유디 가르스나 아니 가와두베 투유나 가와미다와두베 투유고를 가와미다와두베 투유나 가와두베 투유고로 디샤송하다.
So and then relation to time, so they if at the time when pillar exists, the impermanence of pillar must also be at that time, right? So that's the aspect of time.
유투 다 내갑세데 다나데 내갑세데 가와 유베 ngobe 내갑라오지나 가와 유베 내주라오지 내갑지나 가와 미다과 요고 내다 가와 미다과 유베 내다라오지나 가와 요고 요와다 요고요 다 한다.
Okay, so this nekab's relative, relative, or situational almost, like it's the situation where the pillar exists. Literally, nekab means situation. So if the situation where pillar exists, then that same situation, the impermanence of a pillar must exist. Nekab. You could say relativity, but it's not quite the right word. Nekab. Nekab is like, I mean, that's what it means. Like I don't know. Nekab. It's like the situation. So okay.
Situation.
Yeah, that's the word. But think about it like this: any situation where there's a pillar, there's pillar impermanence, right? So in the situation where there's a pillar, that situation also has pillars impermanence.
가와라 강에 가르치는 가와 미다원 강에 연구했어. 가와 주어도나 가와 미다원 주어도라. 가와 미다원 주어도나 가와 주어도라.
So just think about it like this: if the pillar's in trouble, the pillar's impermanence is also in trouble. So any time that the pillar changes, the impermanence of the pillar also changes. So that's what's meant by the situation.
다들 유튜브 내가 랑신라데 다들 다니 직사들와 가와미다 가베랑시나 가와미다 외랑시 가와미다 외랑시 군이 다랑신세데 던데 제 나도 뭐베데 제 이만인을 돼야 말하고 무슨 데라 통주 록스 매워인자 랑신 직고라데 다니 직고 제 직사 다라데 랑신 직사데
Okay, nice.
유튜브 내가 랑신세데 다니 제 직사데도 직고 직ኛ를 탄다. Okay,
so it's like when we say the nature, it's kind of the same. We'd say it's the same substance for impermanent things. It's the same nature, same substance, same, like it's indivisible. So you can't really differentiate in any way the pillar and the pillar's impermanence like that. Same nature, same substance, kind of indistinguishable.
Benadirwa kawa thombe ngusum dila kawa thombele loss kawa midawa sha thongju sha yomare. Kawa midawa thombe ngusum dila kawa midawa thombele loss kawa thongju sha yomare. O de ranshin ji go sa derda.
So for a direct mind seeing or pillar appearing to a direct mind, other than a direct mind that pillar appears to, pillar's impermanence doesn't appear to any other consciousness, and vice versa. If a pillar's impermanence appears to a direct perceiving consciousness, it doesn't appear to any consciousness not perceiving pillar, right? So they come together.
That dinasi ngobu tamjere ben medola lamna yabuda jigna simla shayndi ningjeor shagro yan yawoyor.
This is the same for all impermanent phenomena, but flowers are a nice example because people like flowers. They're beautiful, right? Pretty flowers.
That medo midagwa medo gechewa medo ge medo duje oda duzu sangma ane yudurashi kanaden duzu
substance and composition. So in the same way, like flowers impermanence, flowers product, flowers substance, flowers composition. These all appear simultaneously. So that you can't have one appearing without the others. So that explains the same indifferentiable coexisting substance. Are we clear on that?
Indifferential coexisting is close. Or the one is the coexisting and the other is indifferent.
Well, you have. So, the shi di yangcha di shi dere sabo di shi ze chig ze drupta ze chig yeme drupta ze chig
sumdo sare
right
ze chig do sare drupti ze chig do sare drupti yeme gi ze chig ti sumdo sare ro.
Okay, so we've got we've covered the same substance. Then the second one was the same coexisting substance. And then the third one is the same indifferentiable coexisting substance. And then we've got the last one, which is the same coexisting entity, which we're just going to go into. So are you clear on the first three?
Yeah,
it's clear in the book. If you read the book, it clarifies it pretty good. You might have to read it twice though, because the words are very similar. Yeah. You have to read it. You're not going to get it immediately, but it's only like about a page on it, so it shouldn't be too bad. So the same coexisting entity, the fourth one, is something that's established, abides, and ceases at the same time. So then we can say those the 8 particles, 8 what does he say? 8 substances. For example, the 8 basic particles. So the 8 basic particles of a pillar all arise, abide, and cease at the same time for the pillar, but they're not the same substance. So you can see how they arise together, they abide together, and they cease together, right? However, they're not the same substance. Right. So the earth particle, earth element of the pillar, and the fire element of the pillar, they arise together, they abide together, and they cease together. But they're not. The water and the fire are not of the same substance. Okay, so are we clear now? We've covered now the same substance, same coexisting substance, same indifferentiable coexisting substance, and the same coexisting entity.
탑당 셰럽 ngobojigle lagdo tangbo digi ngobojik rodan yago machine na ane nganzo bena kunzo demba dan dongbani tandan demba ngobojik dobata de shegdo adi tablam dandan di deshe jaade to ngobo tamje ge ranshin rodan de yo yinza nganzo tanda ko ngobo ranshin shego yo ro ngobo ranshin shewala ngobo ranshin nedan rodan de shego ro shidi tangbo shigi rakbado zo labya jumzendere rakbado zo lel habo ro Tatine Martin Sarusaru, ne Kunzop Tempatan, Ranshinjik, Tinea Sarusaru, and Tapdan share up the Movojik sat in the Euro. Or Dulcine, the Goba Deration. She did that the meadow, ze, ne Moji, Manzo, Delmindo, Pendo Carriera. 펜도 배쳐보여 당부 대신 지고보 대신 되네 수 갈래도 덴바니 간라시 되네 탑단 시라고나 삼나단 루스지 펜도 배쳐보여 레스라
So why is this so it's very important to understand what's meant by the same entity or the same substance and what how things can be the same substance or the same coexisting substance and things like that. This is very important because these things, when we come to think about this method and wisdom or ultimate and relative truth being the same entity and so forth, then that becomes very valuable, but it's more complex to understand. So if you can understand this for like impermanent phenomena like flowers and so forth, it's easier to understand it for these gross kind of phenomena. So if we can establish this understanding for that, then when we come to learn about ultimate and relative truth, that's when it becomes more difficult to understand. But if we have this basis, it becomes easier. So why would you think, why would I want to know the substance of a flower? Well, this is where the benefit comes, right? When you start to look at things like ultimate and relative truth and method and wisdom and things like that.
미카시 인데 라그레라 낭베 전화도 낭베 추니 심주어 다야 추레스라 메도 미다고 삼다는 펜도 가래디 심 말아봤어. 이 그런 삼로다 마신 탐란다 마신이 계지시고 그랬어. 왕도 당부 빼 듣는 거 보내주도 시고라 빼 레일하고도 시 레일하고도 시네 아니 신디 갈래 셈그란시 빼나단당도 셔러닝 못되면 바데 수동바오 동반이 수소라도 제가 수동 동반이 오직 시고 그랬잖아. 예. 다디 오직디 너나 오직 가래라도 단다디 락바도 좀 마시는 참고 거하신 그래라. 근데 내야 sabro스나나 아니 나가는서 파진 대보이나 탑단 싫은 거 타대래. 나라야도나 탑시 오직 시고 그러다. 탑단 싫은 오직 시고.
탑단 싫은 노 타대. 노직.
파진 대보랑 오 타대래. 나가나는 오직 그래.
오케이.
제단도 도저 시야 그 탑란나 단단도 메도다 숙다 가와다 품바다 도저 시고 그러다.
So instead of some people might say, Buddhism's all about the mind. We don't need to worry about anything else. It's all about changing the mind. So why would I worry about the impermanence of the flower? Because that's not the mind. But it's used. They don't understand the gradual nature of developing the understanding. Because this flower might be an example, but when you understand the same nature and these things for the flower, then when you get onto more subtle topics, it acts as a basis for understanding that. For example, in the Heart Sutra, it says form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So this form and the emptiness of form are one nature, or one entity. And this method and wisdom aspect, now according to the perfection vehicle, then they're different entities with different nature. However, when you get into Tantra, then they're the same nature or the same entity. So if you can understand this as a basis, then it helps to understand these things later.
다 제직디 두스티버체와 다드네야 제릭직 버사지 제릭직 버사지 다 대직시나야고 단다들어.
So now we've got the same substantial type. So we've covered the same substance. Now we're looking at the same substantial type. This is page 169. So you can does anybody one person.
베나 제릭직 스나 갈라워스나 다 릭직 제릭직 랑 녜는직레 제베 아니 타데데 뒤제데다 제릭직레 베나 녜네 넨두직레 두간직레 제베 아니 두치중던데 여러 말아서 다 둘럼베당 가서 콘 여러 콘
발리 말아봐
발리 람난디 칼람난디
오케이
발리게 두직레 발리 뉴시 숨주 두직데라 베제 자니 자요 자요나 빼요 그래 가실라 숨주 가실라 납주 여러라 자요나 첨보요 말에 눈주 tuk주요나 첨보요 디 발레직 딜레라 디 간직 genyo라 간직 제직 되는 genyo라 제릭지 디게 상마 제릭지그레 디게 제직고 말해 스타딜라고 디게 제릭지 버려 제릭지 버려.
So when we talk about the same substantial type, this is distinct conditioned phenomena that arise from the same substantial cause. So if it's the same substantial cause, then they're the same substantial type. For example, both large and small barley seeds arise from a single seed of barley. So all the barley, I don't know, what are they called? Husks or something? Barley husks. All of the barley husks arise from this one barley seed or one husk that grows all these others. So, you might have 100 on this barley thing. Barley. I don't know. What's a barley thing called? Anyway, on this barley, on the stalk. On the barley stalk, you might have 100 of these husks. But all of these come from the one seed or one husk, and therefore they're the same substantial type.
When I was learning this, maybe this Dura, maybe second year we have this topic.
Dudra.
It
means collected topics. It's basically the first thing they study in the monastery.
We started this Hagwala Lobjan Chigawa Diri, Lori, Lori.
Oh, this is loaded. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. So this is from, they studied in the second year, it's from Awareness and Knowers, Lorid. So this, that we're studying on Wednesday, so this substance type comes under Lorid. I thought it was under Dudra, but...
Dudra Loga, that did we are Nandi 89.
Yeah,
Nandi, we start this topic. At that time, at the monastery, we need to go to job for corn, corn. Corn. And then we this topic and we pick up the one corn and then we count. Some corn have 100, These corn. Huh?
Kernels.
Kernel. Okay, kernel. 100.
No, not the chicken.
Some have 90, some have 80. We counting like that, This is one kernel. Yeah, kernel. One kernel. This new vocabulary. Kernel, yeah. Kernel or kernels?
Kernel.
They did what I go there. So they're
the same substantial type, but not the same substance. Like the two individual kernels, obviously not the same substance, the same substantial type.
ngaranzu lugi nyelende pame kudara dene pame kudara pamani kudara dene chungore ngegi sugunang thada shada rugo da changma zerik chigre ina zejig marwa nge sugunang.
So this applies to any impermanent phenomena. For example, our bodies. So we can say all the aspects of our bodies, like our blood, our bone, our whatever, our knees, our elbows, all of this stuff is from the same substantial type, in the sense that it comes from our parents' white and red drop, or you could say sperm and ovaries produced. That's the substantial type that produces all the aspects of our body, but they're not the same entity or the same substance.
Zanda di ne ya shevala ne anzo ta nyeleng ta nyeleng do ko nyeleng jurwa nyeleng ze jun do nye de la ze gi jun do nye gi de la nyeleng ju che.
Okay, so this
ta de la rowa chi nye de la wa ngana zo benam banda tanda di drula cha sha na chu dan lu dan thö dan sa dan mi dan do zo ko tenji che yen wa jen ta ko drula ko nyeleng jurwa ta de sewa cha do da do se de nganzo. So we could
understand the substantial type to be the same substantial continuum, or the same, coming from the same substantial cause. So, for example, if you take a flower, then what the seed or whatever relative, the seed of that flower produces, that's the same substance continuum, the same substantial type, the same substantial cause that produce all the aspects of that flower But you could say the water, the soil, the sunlight, etc. That's all the supporting conditions. So we've got to understand the distinction there.
지난 디게 먼저 낭배기 시내가라다 뭐부터 상만 유단 대위 남샤 균대가 남샤 찍라 찍대네 총 균란 대위 남샤데 항저 디시에고래서 와데 뭐 내주래 리얼리티로다 유디다 디인도네 항저 다 칭고벌던데 상다네 다 수수심 디질러 와가나 투윤게 티링심 셈바교 민두나나 항아 삼바교 민두 상다마데체 어디 가네 유가네 되네 중도야 또나 다 규디리 겐디리 디야 하고나 아니 수수 규디 내가로 하고도 셈나 남다다 동해디 총으로고 펜도 빼쳔버디 다양 셈베 기부요나 야데 가 기부도 데마데시 어디 기부디 가네 중도로 와 유가래도 셈바상다 삼바상모 쳐야데 규조로와니 셈바 기부요야 그 규조디 셈기 녀렌데라 셈고요로 세상은 셈상부 지라야데 개정부 쉬우래 가두이나 겨울음신 달래라마 숨고도 삼바상부치 숨고도 랍제 첨보르데 그래서 나 간주 셈나라 디기다 심 끼워야 돼 상마 상보래 상보 삼바상보들 네 녀렌들라 당보들라 굴론 삼바상보지 키고야 때 녀렌 줄이다 와 녀렌 그 제준조르니 삼바상보지 고고요 세상은 뒤에 뒤에서 수수수 가디이나요 내가 삼바 상보지 치기 미들레 펜도 가르치고도 내 지우들레 펜도 가르치고도 와 치들레 펜도 가르치고도 근데 삼는 단계에는 아니 디다 사면 봐디 디 사면 되네 아니 디지디 연구요 디지디다 그 되부로 봤다 어디 다디 그런도 매정을 나 삼다에도 와디 빼 삼빼 단도 빼 펜도 전부로
So in reality, this is the reality of the situation is everything is mutually dependent. Everything arises from causes and so forth. So if we think about today's mind as happy, not happy, then we think, well, if I'm not happy, then why? Why am I not happy? What are the causes and conditions bring this about? What are the causes and conditions that bring about suffering? What are the causes and conditions that reduce that suffering? How is happiness developed? What's the cause for that? So always this good heart is said to be the main cause for happiness, the primary cause. And that's why His Holiness the Dalai Lama is always he's always emphasizing this good heart. Or Sempa Sangpo literally means Sangpa is like intention, and Sangpa is like pure. So you could say literally would be pure intention. So this pure aspect is very important because that's what causes this pure result, right? So if we're thinking about this good heart, thinking about how do we benefit others, how do we help people, how do we benefit animals or any being, this kind of intention is the main seed for all happiness.
어디지 다들이 이제 다 망고차로다 양친도 다들 제타들 라모체 제타들 샤시들 그때 아데 제지체 두데 제지체 두데 예메 제지체 두데 지체 아니 제기 릭직 바사 제릭직 세데시나 야보다 되게데.
Okay, so that's probably enough today. We won't go on to different substances just yet. I think we've covered a few things. So you need to clarify what's the same substance, the same coexisting substance, the same indifferentiable coexisting substance, and the same coexisting entity. If you're not clear, read the book. It's clear in there.
Yeah. Question.
Questions? I got no written ones. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, question.
No, you're not.
Okay. 다 곰딕스 잡 아니 샤다 갈래디 디 토픽 디 타고 요베 인자 레버데 되어요.
So
곰딕스 잡 아니 삼샤고.
We might whip out a quick meditation before we send you on your way because it's kind of a bit of a brain mess, your brains might be a bit of a mess now, so we might settle them down a bit.
No, okay.
Well, more than
you have more space. That's good. Okay. 더 곰 가르자월스나 아다 다레디 럽정 데지 시종은 빼하고 청소 당안에 셈 디지기 자오 셈상보데 제기 준 제준 제릭디 조데레샤 당에 디지기 자오 셈상보 띵아야 예당도 지기
So
섬당 되게
now think how, you know, this what we've understood here, how's it useful in my daily life? Well, if I understand that this a good heart is this substantial type, same substance type as happiness, peace, and happiness. That's very fortunate to be able to understand that. So therefore, I need to develop this good-hearted attitude or this pure motivation, pure intention.
이마 디리네시 삼바상부 지기 양자 캘린시네 워.
So reinforce this idea or this feeling that going forward you're going to develop this good heart or this pure intention.
Okay. Today we talk about corn, corn. As I live in India, South India, etc. Anyway, our house here and very close there around lots of corn, and that time we don't know these corns we can eat, And later the Indian lady, she bring the cooking corn on the fire, selling 1 rupee. And we thought, we don't need to buy, we have lots of corn there. And we take some corn and make corn cook on the fire. And later, another Indian old man, he came to look after a cow. And he said, this corn cooking in the water is very delicious. And then we cooked in the corn in the water and cooked. We eat lots. And then this corn is on a monastery, not for us. Then the corn look after this monk. He's kind oh, you eat lots, make corn. We have seven monks. We say sorry, and if we need, we can pay money. We don't know. We eat it, He said, don't worry. Next time, don't eat. Okay, if you want to eat, need my permission, Otherwise, you're stealing. He told like that. And then next year, we asked, please, we want some eat. He said, you give me 15 rupees, then you can eat. I can give this monastery donation. He's very clear making rule, And we give 15 rupees. At that time, 15 rupees is a loss,
It's not a lot, man.
One noodle soup, 15 paisa, And one tea, just 15, very cheap, very cheap. And one rupee lost food that time. 15 rupees lost money, but and then one time we have 7 monks live together, big room, and one monk he has big snoring, and we told him, "You're snoring." He said, "No, I'm not snoring," and he did not accept. And then he's snoring, and we four monks take him in bed, and slowly put in the corn. We did it very few times, one time, just we live there, We coming back and we close door and we sleep, One time raining and we wake up in the corner. Oh, funny. Now he's living in Taiwan. Sometimes I teasing him. Do you remember I was living in the corner? He said, it was so funny and so nice. He said, at that time we are lots of fun, lots of laughing, joking, because, and so one time morning, 4 o'clock, we need to get up, go to talk every morning. I think it's every morning that time 4 o'clock need to go to talk morning prayer. And we don't have, sometimes India light's no good, isn't it? That time light, terrible light. We have today light, but that time light is not good, stable. Sometimes gone, sometimes come.
Like the power, electricity.
And we don't have torch. We don't have candle, nothing. And at that time, and sometimes morning they don't have power, nothing, very dark. And my friend, he is a very teasing person, and he, put some monk this pit put it in the around there, in the tawajan, Kangbala tawajan, Joxilla Tasha.
It's like tie his feet to the table.
Yeah. Then he get up. He said, "Oh, someone taking the he's big yelling." Yeah, you come later. Our talks nearly. And he come very rush, and he wearing lots of color, really funny. And then we see all monks laughing for him. And Mentembo had their power, they're using generator. And that sometimes we have this dinger, we call this. Must need this dinger of teaching. And we don't have torch, we don't have nothing. And sometimes we miss not taking this one, Put there. We don't have I did something, 2 times I did this. Lots of people do like that, man. And then and my teacher said, "You need something, and you can ask him for me." And we request teacher, we need some light, And then he bought this glass, put in petrol, He bought this one.
Like a kerosene lamp.
Yes, this is big. They're very good. And we killing quite often this glass, by petrol. At that time, petrol need to go to monastery kitchen, ask if they give you some jar, please give me some. The monastery kitchen give you, petrol.
Kerosene.
Kerosene there. Yeah. And then slowly, each monk on the table, one. We have 7. And then they put in the paper, on the top paper. And we're making drawing beds and in turn of light and looking who's more clear, competition. Then later, then we have some torch. At that time, facility is very poor and sometimes raining, and then raining coming in the top in the room, Zama,
It's like tiles.
Zama, Javahago,
No, I thought it was like tiles.
The most more piece,
Yeah, tiles.
Yeah, tiles.
Yeah.
And then it's broken, and then running come, lots of running come inside. Then we put the bucket and our cup and mug, and then it looks something the musician, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, like that. And someone put the chord, the pok pok pok, ding dong, pok. Similar music, and then we're listening, really quiet, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, tuck, tuck, like that. Yeah, funny. And then we want to fix, go there. We don't know, and we making more damage. We don't know, we feet go wrong, and then we told our manager, please, we did this wrong, and you fix, And he found some Indian man, and he teach, you should put there. He teaches. And the people that are very good, And we say, oh, we can't do it, we're making lots of damage here, And he Indian man say, put it there, put it here. And he is very good to go to nothing broken, he fixed it, Yeah, one time, lots of storm, that time storm come. And they all kept go like that, like that. And then they all ran come inside, we don't have this thing, bathroom, with that time we don't have bathroom. We have only one toilet. We don't have bathroom. We take bucket and go to river and shower. And the men temple have big root. And raining time, and we go to the men temple under the rain shower. We did this shower curtain. And one time, big raining come, and I think maybe 100 monkey coming like that. Suddenly stop wind, stop raining, and lots monk put stop, They don't Ayo, funny. Then someone run and then bring bucket, and we had this the pump, the Indian government put somewhere this pump, It is quite often broken, So to lots using, and we request Indian government fixed, and later most monastery responsibly look after. Well, maybe that we don't have bathroom shower, Only one toilet. Funny. But that so very happy, lots of fun, Its mind is so heavy and heavy mind, heavy lifetime. I think that's the best my life, And we have lots of fun and teasing, unbelievable teasing. Sometimes, this reason most I go to bed late, Last most I go to bed. One time we did one monk put there, this pint, like that. And he went in the top and see discipline, and give him punish, and everyone like, whole talk monks laughing, Look at me. Sometimes put very funny here, And then after that we have this steel mug,
Yeah.
Steel mug.
Like steel cups.
Cup cleaning and looking past. We don't have mirror, It's still looking past. Someone doing me or not. Sometimes discipline is more relaxed. They are laughing just and don't do that next time. Some disciplines are very strict. They give punish, Sometimes people taking needle or cup, needle,
Yeah, needle.
and in the top, and they serving this together, cushion and together serving, and you bring all cushion back. I use like that. Quite often see this, we don't beg monk solving your question. I quite often checking, before finish. So we checking, double check like that, most monks do like that. Checking, double check. Look into you. Funny. Okay, we start here now. Je me donne, re je ninde jembadi,
Sanye shing du mi te uai, troku nanda shing la chopa shok, jetsun la me kutse rap ten ching, nam ka chin le chok chu ge padang, lo sang ten pe cho me sa sun gi, cho we mun sa ta kun e gyu chik, vidam guru ratna mandala kam niryatayani. Due to the merit of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Whatever slight positive potential I may have created, by paying homage, offering, and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for full awakening. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the King of Dharma, Tsongkhapa's way of Dharma practice flourish. May the omens of obstacles be pacified, and all the conducive circumstances be complete. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Saviour of the snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who makes extremely clear the path that is unification of emptiness and compassion, to the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, we masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels. Saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. By relying on the 2 accumulations of myself and others in the 3 times, may the teachings of the conqueror Losang Dragpa blaze for a long time.